Hey, everybody. Welcome to Jack's Treasures and What? Not Another Reselling Podcast. This is episode number 46. We're on our countdown to 50. And today we're going to be talking about being authentic to yourself on live selling platforms.
Our show is all about the live side of reselling. No edits, no filters, no fluff. We keep it raw, real, and uncut. No sugarcoating, just honest conversations and the real truth about live selling.
Yes, our guest this week. First off, we need to thank our guest this week. He's filling in for Collins on the Move. Collins on the Move was supposed to be our guest this week, but she had some life happens, and we all know that. And Shane had very graciously offered to step in that spot. He is a full-time seller on Whatnot, usually in the women's contemporary category, and an advocate, a huge advocate for being yourself. Okay, he is someone we met on the graphic tee battle in 2024, and we instantly fell in love with his dark sense of humor and sarcastic nature. And also the fact that his shirts, I think Tracy must have bought 7 of them at least.
Ever.
And I will say this before we go any further. Shane was the one competitor I was most afraid of.
100%.
And that is the God's honest truth on 100%. That one.
Every time that wheel spun, I was like, that's the one I didn't want.
Yes. I was like, don't give me Shane. Don't give me Shane. Don't give me Shane. You know, because he's an amazing person. We're proud to call him a friend. Please welcome Shane Largewingnut. Shane, go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
Hello. Well, you kind of summed it up. My name is Shane. I go by Largewingnut. I do sell in the women's contemporary category, more specifically the plus size category, which Whatnot has now, which is amazing.
Yes,
so I
love that.
I do this sort of full time. I don't have another job, so it is, and I have my emotional support turtle with me.
Awesome, I love it.
I realized I was like flailing him around, and I figured I would be polite and introduce him.
Love that.
I've been known to play with a fidget dragon when I'm recording sometimes too. So
not only does she do that, she plays with the fidget dragon while our show is on because she's bored. Because she's behind the scenes. I'm over here trying to sell something, and she's over there playing with her little fidget dragon. So we all have our little emotional support things. There's mine. Right there. All right, Tracy, you got the icebreaker question.
Yes. If someone watched your show for 30 seconds, what would they instantly know about you?
I think that I would hope that they know that I am goofy. And by goofy, I don't mean that I don't take what I do seriously, but I do have a very, I guess, lighthearted persona when I'm selling.
Right.
A lot of people are very just about selling and showing items, and I feel like I like to be entertaining. I feel like people either like that or they don't, though, because I'm very quirky. I think maybe that is a good word, quirky.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that. And you know what? I have to say this. That's honest.
That is honest.
I mean, our first 30 seconds when we saw Shane, it was like, I love this guy. He's quirky.
Yep.
You know, this is great. Okay.
This is the Real Talk Q&A.
46, baby, episode
46, and I still can't get these words out.
I literally have to write little notes for her. Okay.
I'm not a natural in front of the camera. That's why I'm usually over there.
Yes.
This is where we ask the tough questions and hopefully gain some knowledge.
Yes. Our first question is the same to all of our guests. And to me, it's one of the funnest questions of all because it's the origin story. What first pulled you into reselling?
Well, I actually have been reselling, not live selling, but I've been reselling for about 25 years now. I started out on eBay. I've always been very passionate about selling plus sizes, providing things for like bigger, mostly women, that they may not be able to find locally. So that's always been like that's always been my passion. But I got away from listing on eBay because it just wasn't fun to me. And
Right.
I actually got introduced to Whatnot by watching someone on Facebook, I believe, or maybe it was Instagram. K-Way Shop. I don't know if you're familiar with K-Way Shop, which seems
I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, we know the name.
Very, very different from from what I do now. So what I do now has definitely changed and progressed. But I started out selling men's clothing on eBay. I restarted selling, I should say. I was selling Tommy Bahama, that kind of stuff, like casual men's type of clothing. And then I was like, you know what? This isn't fun to me. This isn't fun to me. I don't want to thrift and necessarily flip. I mean, of course I have to make my money back, but I like being passionate about the things that I find, which is what got me basically to where I'm at like now with my business.
That is awesome. Well, you kind of answered the question of how you found Whatnot, but how did your first shows go?
Pretty horribly, actually. They really did. I did not have a following on Whatnot at all. I didn't try to promote myself on social media. I guess I just sort of I saw other people be successful and thought, well, I can do that. But it definitely took a lot of perseverance. I would have one or two people come in my show. People would come into my show and leave immediately. And I blamed it on the fact that they were sort of like shocked to see somebody that is like male presenting, because it's very, very heavily women that sell plus size women clothing.
Yeah, I agree.
So I sort of blamed it on that, I think, so that I wouldn't take it personally. I didn't want to think these people don't like me. So I blamed it on something else.
That would be a good philosophy. I should have done that because ours didn't go over too well either, but you blamed me. So, I don't know.
It's because they didn't want to see an old guy selling video games, babe.
That must have been what it was.
We're probably about the same age, so don't throw the old word around.
I don't know about that. I'm actually going to be 61 in about.
I'm 51.
Weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm like 10 years older than you are.
You and I pegged for the same age. I'm 46. So.
Yeah.
This is where you tell me I don't look 51 at all.
Right. I didn't think so.
That's why I
had
said
to peg for my age.
And I basically said, no, you're not going to be my age. No. But I take that as a compliment because Shane thinks that I look 51.
There we go.
And I'm 61.
We've all flattered one another here.
Okay.
There we go.
Back a little bit. All right.
How has the Whatnot community?
No, you're green, baby. You have been the green lines the whole time. Okay.
What does being yourself mean to you in the world of live selling?
Yes.
What? I didn't hear the last part of that.
What does being yourself mean to you in the world of live selling?
In the world of live selling, it really I struggle with it because I like to think that I'm a very big advocate for being yourself and supporting sellers that are a little off the beaten path, I guess. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that there aren't insecurities there. I think that because I am so upfront and honest about who I am, I take it personally when I'm not somebody's jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I do it. It's not just this person didn't like this pair of pants that I showed. It's like I'm putting my personality out there and you either like it or you don't. I have had some people not like it. And I mean, I always say it's fine. But it stings a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
It's human nature.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know anybody that wouldn't feel it if somebody just rejected you right out, or for being who you are, and that's one of the things about that. if your Whatnot show had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. See, I needed these questions ahead of time. You should have given me these questions ahead of time.
I don't like giving them ahead of time because we want it raw. We want like you guys to just come out and say what's right out there, and you can come out with any song that you want.
I don't know. I do know that I have like Kesha is my she is my inspiration for all of my shows. I play Kesha every single time in every show, and I never get sick of it. I'm stuck like 20 years ago, apparently, musically. But I don't know what my theme song would be. Okay, I'm going to think about the theme song thing, and then when I think of it, I'm going to interrupt you guys, and I'm going to blurt it out.
Okay, that's
you got
perfect.
It. That's absolutely perfect.
How has the Whatnot community supported you, either directly or indirectly?
Yeah.
I feel very supported. I may not have as many followers as some people who've been on Whatnot for as long as I have, as long as they might have. But I have so many loyal people. I have so many loyal customers. And that has changed over the years. People come and go. And I think a lot of people get themselves into trouble with Whatnot because it's so easy to overspend. So I think that
definitely
my customer base is not necessarily the same now as it is when I started. But I always have like a core group of people who just love me to death. I get the same people that buy from me every week, and that's definitely not a complaint at all. I love that. I would rather have that and make half the money than I would make, just selling to a one and done kind of situation where, they liked my clothes, but they didn't really care for my show, sort of thing.
No,
I have big time ADHD, by the way, so I'm likely to trail off in a distance that nobody can
problem.
Okay, Shane.
I think we were both going to do this too. So
we had Dan and Demand on, and I'm not lying. We had 10 or 12 questions. He answered every one of the questions in his first answer, and then it went everywhere. I have never had a show where I'm like, I don't know what to say. I have no clue.
Let him go.
Let him go. Let it go. And that's what we want. That's what we want. So no worries about that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like in your category, especially when you have those regular customers, you kind of get to be their personal shopper. You know that Jane over here, well, she really likes, purple caftans. And, Judy over there, well, she really likes, rock band t-shirts and a 3X. And you get to kind of know them and what they're looking for.
Yeah. And I was going to say, how long have you been on Whatnot? Because you did mention the part about the followers and things like that.
It will be 3 years in April.
Okay. That's awesome. And my other follow-up to that one would be, I would imagine that you have some people that come into your show that may or may not be buyers that just want to come in because they want to support you. Do you have some of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And see that to me, that's awesome. That's one of the best parts about Whatnot and live selling. And Shane hit it right on the head when he said, it's boring to just list a pair of pants up on eBay and then that's it. But this is live and it's more of a personality type thing. Do you still sell on eBay?
No, I do not. It's funny because sometimes I will source something that I know is like more of a high dollar item than I normally sell on Whatnot. So I was creating this like bucket of things that I will eventually sell on eBay. But I no. Honestly, it's just so boring to me and just so tedious that I'll probably just never do it. So occasionally I just go into the banger bucket and I'll just, sell some crazy designer stuff for $1.
Okay, this is a very serious question. Have you ever felt pressure to change your personality or style to fit in on Whatnot?
I have made an attempt to gain more recognition and more followers by associating with people who were not my people. That doesn't happen anymore. And I really hurt some people's feelings by doing that. I had a very close group of friends, and instead of focusing on my friendship with them, I kind of went outside. I cheated on them. I went outside of my like friend group to try to be a bigger seller because I thought that that's what was important, and it wasn't. It was not.
That's awesome.
So, but on a daily basis, like now, I absolutely don't care. I mean, no, I shouldn't say I don't care. I care a whole lot less. You know, when people don't invite me to their raid trains because they think I'm going to say something scandalous, or, you know, so I'm not for everyone, but I think that if I was for everyone, it would also disappoint me, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no, that makes perfect sense, because if you're for everybody, you're not who you are.
Right.
You're not being true to yourself. And that's the whole focus of these questions, and the whole focus of this episode topic is to be yourself, and 100%. People are going to like it or not. And I've learned that I am not everybody's cup of tea, and I had to learn to be able to step back and not take it personal and say, you know, well, what did I do? What did I say? I'm, you know, I really like this person. Why did they just stop coming into our shows, or whatever it may be? But that is the whole thing. So definitely.
If you tried to act like another seller for one show, who would it be, and how long would you last?
Yes.
What would I be?
I have my guess. Do you have a guess?
You have your guess. See,
I do have a guess.
I have no idea.
I don't know if I don't know if you're familiar with the person that I'm gonna say, but it's
okay.
I don't even know her first name.
If I'm not, it's someone that I need to learn. So
I really just love people who are high energy, and I feel like I have high-ish energy during my shows, but I don't have traditional high energy. There's a husband and wife team called Off the Shelf. They go on in the evenings. You know them? Yeah. I don't know them, but I am aware of them, I should say. Okay. See, and they are not someone they're not someone that I follow because I buy clothing from them. I don't think I've ever bought anything from them, but I watch them because she has more energy in like 5 minutes selling, you know, 5 things than I think I've ever had in my whole life. And it's entertaining energy. It's not this fake beat it up chat kind of energy. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And I sometimes feel like because I very often rewatch my shows. I don't know if this is significant, but I do it before I go to bed, and I fall asleep to watching my own shows, which probably is a bad thing because that means I'm bored. But but I feel like that's not me. I often feel like I put on this like Largewingnut suit, and then I go, and I'm not because I'm not authentic, but I have struggled with anxiety a lot. So I do feel like I sort of have to put myself in a different headspace, you know, and not focus on that, I guess.
That makes a lot of sense right there too.
Absolutely.
I love that. When I came up with that question right there, I said, oh my gosh, I was born. Well, you floored me, but I was going to say Hangar 909, Diana, because I can definitely see him coming off on like Diana does. Devil, what is the saying? Devil take care, devil
may care.
Devil may care. Yeah, it's definitely that type of a persona. What advice would you get?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was
I'm
going to
waiting
say,
for
I
the
thought
song
about when I
still.
was thinking about that question before I answered it, I thought about Hanger. And I think that I've become really close to her and I would consider her a friend. And I think if I were just watching her, you know, from the outside without like knowing her a little bit more as a person, I might have had that as an answer. So that was not far off.
Have you come up with your theme song? I'm gonna keep.
No, no. Next question.
All right. Next question. What advice would you give to new sellers who feel like they need to copy other sellers to be successful, to succeed?
I don't necessarily think that copying other sellers is a bad thing. I think that my biggest thing and my biggest frustration with sellers who are newer that are having trouble is just to be consistent. I think that a seller is never going to be the same exact way in, like, let's say 6 months from the time that they start. I think that just watching other people's shows and observing what works and what doesn't work is going to make you a different type of seller. But I think that I think that there are so many people. I'm in so many Facebook groups where people are just like, I had my first show and there was no one there and I'm so frustrated. I want to quit. This isn't for me.
I see that
and I'm like,
every day.
I'm like, really?
All the time, yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of those people are started out maybe as buyers and see some sellers that are super successful, and so they think, well, I could do that, and so they get on, and you know, there might be 2 people in their show, and then they want to quit.
Like, I have 385 followers.
Right,
yeah,
right.
But nobody came.
I did dollar starts, and that doesn't even matter. Like I've seen a lot of people do ridiculously low starts and have nobody in their show. I think that Whatnot is doing something to push new sellers or first time sellers, though.
I think it's on that very first show.
Yeah, because I feel like I always look when I'm live and I'm looking for someone to sell and it says, you know, first show, those are always the people that I want to raid into. But lately it's been like, okay, it's their first show, but there's, you know, 25 people in there. You know, either they have a following maybe from being a buyer, or Whatnot is doing something to kind of push the algorithm.
Or a lot of YouTube influencers are coming over and doing their first show. I remember a record seller, and records are tough sells. It's a very big category where you have a lot of really established sellers on there. And this guy came over and had his first show. In his first show, he had 178 people in it, and he was selling records for over eBay prices, like massively over eBay prices. And then come to find out, he was selling on YouTube. And so he brought everybody from YouTube over to Whatnot. And so that's what happened with his show. So great advice to those of you that are out there that are newer sellers. Yeah, go ahead and copy some of the people that you see, but you're going to develop into your own.
Right.
You know, which I think is amazing.
What is one habit or phrase you have on Whatnot that your regulars always tease you about?
I have one.
A habit would be not reading the chat.
That was mine. That was mine.
I am horrible. And I go to other sellers' shows and I see them ignore the chat and it infuriates me. But I do the same thing. Like, or I'll just catch certain people, and I think that's even worse because then other people feel ignored because I've just called out one person that I recognized. And it's something that I have said that I want to work on, but I don't know how. I suck at it. I feel like I'm going to be super slow and scrolling up in the chat, and but I do think it's something I need to work on for sure.
Well, it's harder for you because you're a one-man show too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, we have Tracy with me, so I do ignore the chat, except for when it comes to a red chat and I'm not supposed to be saying it, like when we have a troll. And you know, then I'm reading it and she yells at me to stop really loud. But yeah, as you being your own seller, if I do a show and I'm by myself, and because Tracy's at work or doing something, not work,
taking my daughter
taking
to work.
our daughter to work, then I can't read the chat because I'll turn around to grab something to run, and then the chat's going, and then I come over to it, and everybody's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "I didn't see anything," you know. So I definitely can understand that part.
I had another a friend, a whatnot friend, come to visit me in December, Mad Hatter Flips. And we were doing like yes, she's amazing. She's like my whatnot bestie.
Awesome.
We did a show on my account where we just kind of we each had some things, some thrift hauls, and we both kind of switched off. And I got to sit in my recliner and I got to read the chat, and it was awesome. It was so nice to actually, you know, be able to do it and not feel overwhelmed by missing things. And it was very nice.
Yeah. Tracy takes care of all of that with us. So that's yeah.
I would hear people always talking about how they really needed a mod. I thought, we don't really need a mod. Mods are just for fun. That was what I always thought until I would go somewhere and leave him by himself and realize that those mods were actually doing him a huge favor when I wasn't actually there to help.
Yeah, and I modded just about everybody. I was like, because I can't see anything. You know me, I'm blind as a bat. Even with my glasses on, I can barely see anything. So it's hard for me to see the chat because it goes by kind of fast. And then I'll tell my mom, I said, will you please slow the chat down for me? Because, you know, they can slow the chat down and then I can see stuff.
As a team, I did never give mods the respect they deserve. So
yeah, but we do now.
We do now.
Hey, I do have a wonderful mod, and she does help a lot with requests. But I feel like I don't keep up with the chit chat that's going on in the chat. And a lot of people just know that that's me, and occasionally I'll just make a kind of a joke about it. But I mean, it is what it is.
I nailed that one because I said, I was sitting there thinking, going, Shane's going to say not reading the chat because he says it in his shows. He says it in the show. He goes, I'm sorry if you're making comments. I don't really read the chat. And I'm modding them. And this was during the Veterans Day raid train. And I'm like, Shane, you got 5 minutes left. And Shane's like, I don't really read the chat. And I'm like, read the chat, Shane. You got 5 minutes left. You got 2 minutes left. So it is a lot of fun. I literally had to, I think I red chatted it too on one time. I don't remember exactly. All right. To piggyback on that one, how do your regulars respond when you're your most genuine on camera?
I think that people respond positively, and I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to accept that because I almost feel like I'm being, even though I am not, I am very authentic. I feel like just to get through a live, sometimes I'm almost like on autopilot. And now I already forgot the question that you asked me. How do my regulars react to me being authentic? I think they handle it much more than I do. I am very much a I don't know, like a character almost, like a cartoon version of myself. That's actually a good way to put it. Because I don't ever feel like I'm not being authentic, but I do feel like you know, like when the little bat signal goes up and Bruce Wayne has to turn into Batman, that's me.
You know, that is basically, I think almost a lot of people is that way. You can ask Tracy that when the camera comes on and I go on live, I will pep up a lot and just all of the stuff that's inside me comes out. But you don't let that out all of the time because then it would be, I don't know, how would you say
exhausting.
It would be almost exhausting because, you know, people will think you're being fake all of the time when no, that's actually you being genuine.
Yeah.
It's just some people have
a couple more degrees.
Yeah, some people do have that where once that comes on, you turn it on and it's like, okay, now I know, especially if you feel like you're going to be accepted for it, which I know that you have, that it's like, okay, I can be me now. I don't have to worry about it. I sell cookbooks, for God's sakes. I know nothing about cookbooks. Nothing.
I've noticed that. You guys have been doing a lot of cookbooks.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like all of these people they'll come in, and we have that loyal group that comes in, and they want to see me going through these cookbooks and basically just pointing out all of this food that I absolutely would love to cook, even though I don't cook at all ever.
They ask us what we're eating for dinner every day.
Yeah. So it's definitely that part, but I mean, I'm not going to look at these books afterwards. I don't flip through them during my own free time, but it's just one of those things. So I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about quitting reselling, and what made you keep going?
If you did.
I have been super frustrated with reselling because I have had some ebbs and flows, and it does if you. That was my cat. I don't know if y'all heard that.
A little bit.
He sounded like he was dying over there. I'm sure he's just down to 13 little nibbles of food in his bowl. But yeah, I have wondered if this is for me. It hasn't happened in quite a while, but I have definitely been down that path where I think, maybe I should just go back to listing on eBay. But yeah, definitely a lot less now.
What made you keep going?
The people, honestly, the community, they have been my community has changed since I started, but I have always had a community of sorts. People who love me, people who buy from me, people who just want to hang out with me. And I love that. Like I don't really have that in my real life. I have that a lot more online. So it is very important to me to have that support and that like camaraderie.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, you have to do it too.
Okay, this is our troll week question.
Okay, you got to do that now.
Trolls.
We've been doing that for 3 weeks, Shane. Sorry.
How
do you handle trolls in your show?
I have been lucky. I have had, and you know what? I could have possibly gotten way more trolls than I'm aware of, and I just don't read the chat. So I had one raid once. It was a super huge raid. It was almost 200 people from like the coin category or something. And they all came in and they were just blowing my chat up with really stupid questions. It wasn't hateful that I could see, but it was just, they were just there to be a distraction and to throw me off. And that was it. If I ever catch someone saying anything questionable, I definitely am much more likely to confront them if they are in a friend's show. This just happened a couple weeks ago, where someone made an unsavory comment to a friend of mine, and it's easier for me to tell someone off when it's like towards someone else. It's harder for me to like stick up for myself, I think.
Right.
But I have been I have been lucky, and I have not had a whole lot of experience with that, unless you count envy, because envy is everybody's troll.
Envy is definitely everybody's troll. But when we were talking about trolls on live reselling, we did that on Wednesday. We were talking about that trolls can come in different forms, especially on live formats. You can have the disruptors. You can have the ones that are just over the top saying things that should never be said. And then you have ones that they'll troll the chat by just putting one letter in at a time to spell down a word. And we've had that too.
We've probably had more trolls than a lot of the people in like the clothing categories, because we've been over in video games, and those categories tend to get a lot of the younger people.
Yeah, even though our last troll was in our cookbook show,
that was funny.
and I had 11 people
Really?
in the room. I said,
funny.
dude, that was an epic fail troll, by the way. You don't troll somebody in a show that's got 11 people in it.
Yeah,
I said, oh my gosh, dude. Go to
They were just warming up. They were just practicing.
They were getting ready for Joe Hollywood.
Yeah, they were getting ready for Joe Hollywood. Okay? This is the question right here that no matter what, we were going to be asking this question, and I'll give you a chance to think about it. Okay. What is one thing you refuse to change about your shows no matter what?
I would say that it's very, very important for me to be like body positive. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are not, but I will never, ever allow anyone to talk like down on themselves or anyone else about how anyone is going to look in an item or anything like that. Because I feel like even if they're just sort of like using self-deprecating humor, it could affect someone else. You know, I don't like it when people say, oh God, I could never wear those pants. My big fat belly, you know, that kind of thing. And then someone else is thinking, well, I have that too. And now I feel bad about myself kind of thing. So I tried to be very, you try to be very like size inclusive. Like this is your place where you can talk about body image and all of that, but not in a negative way, especially if it's going to affect someone else.
Tracy, you're definitely gonna have to make a clip of that.
I love that.
Okay?
That is
because I love
amazing.
that one right there and stuff. Because one of the things that I say when we're holding up something, I'm like, no judgment ever here. So, like, if I hold up a book and I says how to lose 100 pounds in 3 weeks, I say, look, no judgment here. All right, you're not going to get any judgment here from us. I try to do that. It is a little bit difficult at times. Well, one, I don't sell clothing.
Right.
So I don't have that one. And even when I do, it's clothing that we get from storage units. So I don't know anything about it. So I'm just holding it up going, here you go. It's red.
Yeah.
It's dress. I don't know anything about it.
I know. He's sitting here saying we don't sell clothing, and I'm sitting here looking at about 4 boxes of brand new clothing in the garage.
We will be selling clothing pretty soon. I'll have to ask Shane in the after we're done recording in the studio what's a piece of advice on that one. He actually answered this one a little bit, but I'm going to let him get more specific on that.
What's one mistake you see live resellers make that's holding them back?
I feel like not being consistent. And I know that's such a generic answer. It's such a generic answer, but I struggle with just people that I am very close to who aren't consistent and are upset when they don't have anyone coming into their shows or have very few people coming into their shows. And that to me, like I said, as cliche as it sounds, is so important. I don't know how many times I've been like, okay, it's Tuesday, who's on? And if I know every Tuesday so-and-so is on, like that gets me back into their shows. And it gives me something to look forward to during the day. If it's a seller that I really like, maybe I'm having a shitty day, and I think, oh, so-and-so is on, because this is such a social network for people. If you're not on when you say you're going to go on, someone's going to go and spend their money somewhere else. The world is not going to wait for you.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And I totally understand. Like I always say this, like life comes before whatnot. I get it. If you have to take your kid to a baseball game or something like that. Like I'm not saying this is the consistency is the be all end all and should come before your family or any other responsibilities. But I do feel like it is very important.
Okay.
Agreed. That's you. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Is it me?
It's you.
That's right, because there's no green. So even I'm messing up. Episode 46, by the way, we might tell people again. All right, Shane, finish this sentence. People who come to my shows should be ready for
crude humor.
Yeah.
Not just crude humor, but but that can be a make or break for somebody. I do have, I mean, I'm not, I guess I like to say that crass and crude are a little different for me. Like, to me, I sprinkle crude humor in delicately so as not to really freak people out, but it is enough that you can tell that that is part of my personality. And if that's not your jam at all, then you're probably not going to like me very much.
Okay.
Gotcha.
If you could leave every seller with one message about authenticity, what would it be?
I would say, and this is hard, I still haven't thought of my song.
Sorry.
I feel like authenticity is very important, but I also know that there can be a struggle between authenticity and success. I personally take authenticity very seriously, and if I couldn't be who I was, I wouldn't be here. I would find somewhere else to go.
Right.
But I mean, I definitely think that if you are not being yourself as a seller, my cats are going crazy with this stack of boxes in the other room, so I apologize. It sounds like
I don't know
what's going on.
One of ours was meowing outside the door a minute ago too.
Yeah, she's been sticking her paw underneath the door. You guys can't see that. I can see the door over here, and I'll see a little white paw come out from underneath.
But yeah, I think that it can be maybe for somebody being inauthentic, but it's working for them. Sales wise, that's on them. But I think that a lot of people can read authenticity and know whether somebody is being fake or not.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, Shane, by the way, just letting you know, that was the last question. So what was that theme song again?
Oh my God.
We'll let them slide on that one, guys. All right, this is our what's up.
I know you don't edit, but can you just edit a question in there later? Like,
not if I have to do it. I'm very lazy. I will tell you that right now. I am extremely lazy. So for me, it's just no.
A lazy editor maybe, but not lazy.
I'm a lazy everything. All right, this is our what's up segment where we're going to talk about something that's new that's happening in the world of reselling, and we are going to be concentrating on Whatnot on there because Whatnot had their State of the Union just yesterday on Whatnot with the Whatnot CEO. And in 2026 CEO letter, Whatnot reflected on rapid growth, global expansion, and new tools that help sellers build real businesses. I love how they use the word real businesses in there, while emphasizing community, live connections, and plans for AI and 50 plus new categories to keep live shopping booming. Okay. And Shane's already mentioned one with the plus size category, which is great. Just to let everybody know, the Whatnot app ranks #1 in the shopping category in both the United States and in the UK in 2025.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
If the Whatnot app went away today, where would you go sell?
I would probably seek out some other sort of live selling. I've seen some people do it on TikTok, although it seems very like product specific. Like they're just they're selling some sort of sponsored item over and over and over again. That would not interest me at all.
Okay.
So I don't Poshmark Live. Maybe it would definitely have to be a live selling option.
That's exactly what Brian said when we were talking about that.
Yeah, and so exactly what I would say too. That, and I also said the district has some platforms over there that you would that are category based, almost like that.
This is their shine the light segment where we shine the light on 3 resellers at 3 different levels. Our up-and-coming seller this week is Liz, who goes by Hustlin' Horsewoman. She's a new seller on Whatnot with 269 sales and 855 followers. She sells toys, Western wear, plush, and fun finds. She's rodeo ready, arena tested, and everyday approved for anyone who loves the Western style, good deals, and cool finds. She also posts videos on all her social media. Shane, do you post on any other social media platforms?
I do. I usually will do sort of a sneak peek kind of thing, and then I will just advertise my shows. I would love to be better at it.
Okay.
But
what platforms are those?
I'm sorry?
What platforms are those?
Usually, well, my Facebook cross posts to my Instagram. I don't know how to use Instagram. I'm old. I barely know how to get messages on it.
Right here. Okay. Right here.
And I'm most familiar with Facebook. So I turned on the feature where it just shares it to Instagram, but that's where I get most of my replies or my comments is through Instagram.
Awesome.
So it's weird.
All right, and I will let you all know we will have links down below to Shane's Instagram, so you can blow up his Instagram that he will not have any idea what it is, but I will have links down to his Facebook page also. Our next level seller is Glyterbugg. Glyterbugg, she goes by Glyterbugg. I don't know actually what her name actually is, but I tried. She's a seller on Whatnot with 4.9 thousand sales and 21.9 thousand followers. So she's got some followers there. She's a lifelong entrepreneur selling a variety of items like toys, glass, comics, cards, and vintage. She aims at 100% customer satisfaction, which she's achieving. Okay. Now, Shane, do you think that you can achieve 100% customer satisfaction if you were selling at the highest level on Whatnot?
Probably not. Gonna be real honest. I do strive to be, I would say, 97% and up to 100. But yeah. Life happens, shit happens. There's holes and things that I don't see before I ship things out. I do pride myself on customer satisfaction though. So if somebody says to me, hey, there was a hole in this shirt, I will fix it. If Whatnot doesn't fix it for them, I will fix it somehow. So I am very, very big on that.
Yeah, we us are too. And I can attest to the fact that Shane is like that because we bought a shirt from him and he sent us a picture of a pinhole in the shirt.
And it's I'm just going to put it in the bin.
If you want to cancel it, just go ahead and cancel it. And I'm like, no, it's all good.
I love that shirt. Oh, I've already got a marker stain on it that I did. So that's what anything I live with is going to have happened to it anyway.
Yeah.
Our established seller is Christine and Chef Fanny at Sugar Hill Market. They're sellers on Whatnot with 38.7 thousand sales and 29.3 thousand followers. They've been unapologetic sugar pushers since 2012. They sell gourmet gummies, taffy, chocolate, fudge, popcorn, and more. Chocolate is their happy place.
Chocolate is my happy place.
Oh, chocolate's your happy place. Where is Shane's happy place? It can be anywhere or anything you do.
My happy place is Chinese food. How horrible is that? It might just be because I'm hungry right now. So if you ask me, 2 hours before.
Did you hear Tracy? Did you hear what she said? She says, "Ooh, that sounds good."
So yeah, I'm obsessed with beef and broccoli. That's kind of my life and what it revolves around right now.
Everybody has to have some kind of a happy place.
Absolutely.
I will definitely have to say that. That might be one of our questions that stays in our rotation.
Yes.
All right, next is our new segment that we debuted last week with Mike Medco, and that is called We Really Want to Know. Okay, I know.
Oh, the wheel, great. Not the wheel.
It's the wheel, yes. We've got a random wheel loaded with, it's actually got 15 wild questions on it, from serious to silly, awkward to what if, and everything in between. So, Shane, here's the deal. You get to choose how many times we spin the wheel. Okay.
Okay.
But you have to answer each question honestly. So
as long as it doesn't have anything to do with theme songs.
No theme song.
No.
Oh,
Well,
that one's probably going to go on the wheel from now on. I like that one.
You like
Adding
that
it
one?
to the wheel. Yeah.
No, I'll add that one to the. Everybody gets their own wheel, by the way, too.
They do.
Now,
yeah.
everybody does get their own wheel. So, Shane, when I put these questions in here, I had you in mind when I did. Okay.
Really?
So Shane,
okay.
Yes. So how many spins between 1 to 5 would you like
3.
to do? You want 3? Yeah, that's how many, Mike. That's
3 spins.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring the wheel up to the stage, guys. There it is, right there.
I'm scared.
And we are going to spin that wheel 3 times, and Shane has agreed that he's going to answer them honestly. So here we go with spin number 1. What is it going to be?
I hope you guys can read it. Okay, no, it gets bigger.
Yes.
All right, that's 1.
If you could text your younger self one message, what would you give?
What advice would you
What
give?
advice would you give? Yeah, I totally.
Wait, do I have to answer that? I thought I had to answer number 3.
No, you have to answer 3 spins.
Oh, I would have picked 1.
Well, you picked 3. And
Okay.
I'm going with 3.
We'll go with. We're not going to make him.
No, it's okay. If you could
Are you
text
gonna
your
feel bad?
your younger self, what advice would you give?
Yeah.
I not to turn this into like a trauma dump or anything, but I did not have the best support system as far as believing in myself when I was younger. So I definitely would have given myself more credit than I feel like I had. And the support to do the things that I felt passionate about.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you want any other questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, here's question number
I just
2.
misunderstood the assignment. Go ahead.
No worries. And that question was removed, so hopefully it won't come back because that has happened before. We've had one person to do this and it did that. All right, here we go. Which one was that? Here we go. All right, you asked that one.
What qualities do you value most in a friend?
I would say communication. Communication is a big thing for me, especially since almost all of my friends are online.
It's very important.
And I don't just get to drive by their house and stop in for pizza or whatever. So communication is very important. But also, even if I don't necessarily line up with the beliefs of somebody, I can still consider them a friend, and as long as they respect my beliefs.
I agree with that 1,000,000%. All right. I agree with that 1,000,000%. I mean, I have a lot of my friends that definitely do not share my belief, and I never try to force my belief onto anybody else. I always feel like that's you and this is me, and I'm going to accept that from you. And I hope you accept that from me too. So great answer on that one. All right. Last spin. Here we go. Let's get one of the good ones. My God, we've gotten two of the more serious type questions. I know I have some silly ones on here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there we go.
Have I ever been? Does it say arrested?
Have you ever been arrested? Details if you feel like sharing.
I have never. I've never been arrested. I've never been detained. I have never, and that probably surprises some people. But I have not. I have never. I mean, I've gotten a speeding ticket, and that's about the end of that story.
That is great. I actually have been arrested. I was
really
arrested when I was in the Navy. We were in Japan, and we were at a one of the bars, and it was actually a bar that was attached to the base in Japan. So we were ported out of San Diego, so we were on what's known as a Westpac. We went to the bar, And I was 24 at the time, and I had just gotten married before that. And so we go to the bar, and we're having some drinks, and we ordered a beer. And I don't drink very fast. So I had the beer, and everybody was like, "Hey, we're going to go out onto the town." And I said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the ship, but I got this full beer." But you're not allowed to walk around a Navy base with a full open beer drinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're actually not even allowed to walk out of the club with one. So I take this paper plate and I wrap the beer in the paper plate so it looks like a hot dog or whatever. And I walk out of the bar with it. So I'm walking down the road and I ditch the plate in the trash. So I'm walking on the base, drinking a beer, and Shore Patrol caught me. So they got me and they told me to get in the back of the paddy wagon. I didn't even go into handcuffs or anything like that because I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
the beer, they poured it out, took me back to the ship. So that was my little arrest story with that. And I won't ask Tracy to say if she has or she hasn't.
I've never been arrested. I have been fingerprinted though.
So but that is our new segment right there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We had a little bit of fun with that one right there. Shane, thanks for sharing with that one. Now
it's time to turn the tables. That's where Shane, wherever
he'll be on that side,
can ask us any question he would like. It can be serious, silly, reselling, not.
Yep.
So I do wonder how, because you guys sell so many different things in so many different categories. How would you say that makes you successful? Do you just have like a core group of people that just sort of follow you depending on what you're selling? You gonna see what I'm saying?
Oh, God, definitely.
I think in a lot of ways it probably has stunted our success.
Yeah,
because we tend to have different buyers in the different categories we sell at. We have a lot of friends that will come from show to show and come and talk and build our room numbers up a little bit, but they're but they're not buying.
Yeah.
When we go to sell cassette tapes, we have different buyers than when we're selling cookbooks, and when we're selling video games, then when we're selling storage unit stuff. It's a whole different group of buyers. And
it has stunted our growth a little bit, but not our success.
Right.
Because what ends up happening with what Shane was talking about earlier is being consistent. We're consistent with our cookbook shows, and we have gained followers and buyers from doing our cookbook show. And I was running the numbers with Tracy the other day, and I was telling her, we've done like 7 cookbook shows, and the most amount of people that we have ever had in any one of those shows is 22. That's it. 22 people. But we have made over $100, over $200, over $300 in those cookbook shows. So we have success with it. We're just not getting the growth from that,
right,
that spills over into all of our other shows. So, it's something that's good and something that's bad at the same time. We probably are best known for video games and video game consoles, but we're running low.
Yeah.
So I have to replace that with something, because I can't source video games and video game consoles as much as I did when we bought the storage unit, because it would cost me an arm and a leg. And I was running everything starting off at $1 because I knew I had nothing in this stuff. I just want it gone. And so it's easy for me to run it for $1 and sell it for $19, $20 when I could get, $50 for it on eBay. It's easy for me to do it here because it's gone. It's out. I don't got to worry about it. But I couldn't keep doing that because I'm out of merchandise. So we lucked into cookbooks, and now we're actually sourcing cookbooks, which you can get cookbooks very, very cheap. Like we just today, before our show, before we recorded, I had a Facebook Marketplace meetup where I bought like 48 cookbooks and paid like $50 for them. So I'm a little over $1 into them, and I sell them for $2 to $3 a piece. So
and some of them get bid up.
Yeah, some of them get bid up. So it is difficult at times to try to gauge your success because you don't see the numbers in the room count. You don't see the numbers in your following count going up, but you see the number in your sales go up. And that's really where you want to find it. So that's a great question, Shane. Thank you for asking that. That was awesome. A big thanks, huge thanks for our amazing guest, Shane, Largewingnut, for joining us. Up next, we'll be chatting with Chrissy. Hopefully, Chrissy will be available next week, who is a whatnot seller and a full-time caregiver, and is also an awesome friend to lots of people on the thing. And again, thank you, Shane, for filling in that one little spot right there.
One final question for Shane. What can we expect next from Largewingnut? Do you have any upcoming special shows or any goals that you're trying to meet?
I do a boho train once a month with Hanger 909. So that's something that I look forward to. I used to source a whole lot more boho, and that kind of used to be the theme of what I sold for the most part. Now I've just sort of pivoted a little bit into like just buying things that are kind of more funky and unique and not specifically boho. But I do love those. I love that I'm on all of the raid trains with the curvy sellers. I love that people accept me as, you know, the only guy that sells plus size clothing.
That is awesome. So
oh, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide and the Naughty Cat Cafe. Links are down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And one thing, please leave us a comment if you have any ideas or anybody that you want for us to interview on our shows. Please leave us a comment down below and let us know how we're doing. Also, be looking for a live. We are going to be going live on YouTube on January the 31st. I think it's at 3 o'clock. We will have a guest. That will be Ken, SSK Promo. We're going to be talking about the guests that we had this month and the guests that we have upcoming. So we're going to be doing a live once a month starting in January. So definitely look forward to that. Shane, thank you again, my friend. I appreciate you so much for filling in.
Yes.
And make sure you have everybody, make sure you please have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Peace out from JacksTreasures and Largewingnut.